Do you break out in a cold sweat if you don't have at least 2 bars on your phone? Do you freak if the Wi-Fi isn't powerful enough to let you post on Facebook?
I don't. Why are you looking at me? Veronica Sites is a counselor. Just because I freaked out over at the East County Toy Drive yesterday when I lost my connection doesn't mean anything. Veronica Sites is a counselor on the Kogo News Live Line. Veronica, are we really that addicted to connectivity?
Well, if this study is correct, hitting the bars is a little bit different when you're talking about the phone versus an alcohol addiction. It's there's some indicators out there that the generations up and coming, the ones that have totally been immersed in technology are not going to have the skills and ability to disconnect. And that makes for addictive behavior that is recognized as a norm. And that's pretty concerning.
Okay, so first of all, how do you know if you are addicted? Because I know some people who are addicted who just deny it.
Well, they can deny it outwardly, but the thing is, if they feel anxiety, if it increases their stress, or just literally feeling a physical effect with the thought of having to do without their technology for even, 5 to 10 minutes, just stresses them out. That's your indicator right there. I mean, you can deny it to everybody on the outside, but you're living with yourself. So, that conflict is internal and it's real.
Now, it's a real problem, but, so what do you do to kind of start the weaning process? How do you teach yourself to set that thing down for a little while and just forget about it?
Well, one of the greatest ways to do that is to do it in numbers, meaning that, a lot of people really enjoy the benefit of being disconnected from their technology when there's other peers doing the things offline with them, because you really do forget about technology for a while. You didn't miss it. If there's a boot camp that we have here locally that is specifically, you take absolutely no technology and you disconnect for a while for the purpose of recognizing you can live without this, but it's harder to do it if you're doing it by yourself.
So it's better to maybe, I don't know how to say this, kind of get a support group, so to speak, to do it with you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say support group is great, but it's, get a community of peers. I mean, you can call it a support group, but, just agree amongst your friends, 3 to 5 friends, hey, we're going to go off grid for a while. And that means, hey, we're leaving our phones at home or in the, in the vehicle, out of sight, out of mind. But we're going to take this offline and we're just going to, whether it's canoeing, ride your bike, go do something that just gets you away from it. It doesn't necessarily have to be only in nature, but there's just a real connectivity to getting away from the technology that everybody enjoys it. And it's like, hey, you know what, we ought to do this more often. And more often than not, when I work with groups and individuals that have participated in groups, they always come back and say, you know what, it wasn't so bad. I actually kind of enjoyed it.
And that's the thing, is just maybe learning a little bit of balance. I know people who will have get-togethers at their house and they'll say, you know what, keep your cell phone away. This is just for us to sit down and talk and have a couple of cocktails or whatever. This is not about checking your email or your cell phone or anything else. And they kind of hew to it, and people seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, they do. And it's a reboot of sorts. I mean, it's, we reboot our computers and, everything works better. Same thing happens with our bodies. If we just disconnect for it, you're rebooting a system of your brain and the wiring within your brain's body systems that just isn't getting utilized as often when you're constantly relying. You have to be creative. If you're not dependent on technology and you're going to go out and do something, you have to use a different part of your brain that requires creativity that doesn't lean on the crutch of technology.
All right. Thank you, Veronica. That is Counselor Veronica Sites joining us on the Kogo News Live Line. I will be off my phone in just a second.